Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight for Bold Voices. I'm Angela Belcamino. I'm very excited, as per usual, about our show and our guests tonight, and so excited to have all of you here. So please chat with us. Please put your thoughts, comments, questions in the chat. We will read them. We will bring them up. We will do our best to interact and involve you in the conversation and answer your questions and do all that stuff. So let's have some fun together. As per usual, we are loving the conversations, the open dialogue. We're covering current events, headlines, what's going on, having some fun together, and with the goal of, bringing people together and that's what we're here for. So thank you so much for tuning in. If you wouldn't mind, it would be amazing if you would like, repost, and if you're on YouTube, subscribe, and we appreciate you. So tonight, I'm very excited and grateful for this amazing panel of guests. We have a very special guest tonight here for the first time, Michael Won, a longtime journalist from South Korea who's worked extensively in media in the US, particularly covering news relevant to Korean and Korean American communities. So without further ado, here is Michael Won, Jay, and Hannah Griff. You love them. What's up, Michael? Thank you for joining us for the first time.
Hi, Angela. Thank you very much for inviting me. It's a huge honor.
Oh my gosh, that's so nice. All the way from Los Angeles,
Los
California.
Angeles, yep. LA, Cali.
Well, I've actually never been to Cali. Can you
Wow,
believe
really?
that?
Wow.
That's, I know, insanity. Like,
Yeah.
it's a crime.
Well, it's a great place. The weather's great. I mean, people always say, I'm conservative, so a lot of people ask me, how come you're still living there? You should move out to like Florida or Texas or somewhere more conservative. But I just can't leave the weather. The weather-wise, it's the best place in the world, I think.
Yeah. Well, I don't know that, but I'm actually in Florida now, but I just moved back to Florida. I'm originally born and raised in Florida, but I moved, I was in New York City for the last 12 years. So I do know that experience of New York. And I feel like there's probably some similarities of things that are going on in New York City that might be going on in California.
Yeah, I mean, California, I'm not that happy about the governor, Gavin Newsom. I would like to call him, as our president calls him, Gavin Newscum, and all the budgets, all the money, all the taxpayers' money. I don't know where it's going. The bullet train project, and I mean, showing your ID when you vote, that's illegal. It's an upside down world here, and all the city councilmen out of 15 LA council members, 14 of them are Democrats, and we had one guy. He's actually a Korean American too, who's covering the San Fernando Valley area. He used to be a Republican, but he also had to change his party to independent because he thought that it was politically a liability. So that really goes to show how much of a disadvantage we have here in California. And it's almost like politically, also the legislature is 2/3. The Democrats hold 2/3 on the Senate side and also, on the House side. And they have every single statewide elected officials are Democrats. So it's like, so I have to pick and choose when I'm invited to events. Should I show my real color here, or should I just try to talk about Star Wars or other stuff, entertainment stuff?
Yeah, that's a tough position to be in. That's an uncommon. It's a shame that you can't be your true self and be authentic.
Well, now these days I don't care. I just say it. These days I used to, because first you want to kind of blend in. You don't want to just make people enemies. But now I'm just, I'm tired of it. I'm tired of, covering it up.
How long have you been in California?
I lived in California since 2002. 2002. Yeah. I went to college in Oklahoma, University of Central Oklahoma. I was there since 94, in and out. South Korea. I had to go back to South Korea because I had to do my military service there for 2 years and 2 months. And then I came back, graduated 2002, came over to Los Angeles. And I started my journalist career here. as a sports reporter first and then I covered politics because I wouldn't stop talking about politics. They just kind of transferred
They're like,
things
but
to
get back to
politics.
sports. Can you talk about the sports? And you're like,
Yeah, I would always just talk about politics all the time. Even in college, when I was in Oklahoma, a lot of my classmates and my friends, they didn't want to talk about politics, but somehow my favorite show was Bill Maher's Politically Incorrect. That was my favorite show. So I would watch it every night, like 11:30 p.m. And the topics that he talked about were not the ones that I ever heard about when I was living in South Korea. So it was kind of like a what do you say, like a little bit of culture shock,
"Mm,
and then there was a lady named Joanne. She taught Bible study every Friday because so Oklahoma is in a Bible belt, so everybody talks a lot about the Bible. You wouldn't believe it. Even in the dorms, they would argue about Bible verses. So that was another culture shock for me. Like college kids, oh, you guys are really debating about Bible verses. It was kind
right.
of new. It was a new experience for me, but yeah, she would teach international students Bible studies, and I remember one day I was talking about one New York Times article. To Joanne. She was a lady in her 60s back then. And then she said, Michael, I don't read the New York Times. She just flat out said that. And I didn't understand what she was saying. And she said, it's too liberal. It doesn't reflect her value. And that kind of piqued my interest about the other side of the media. And she would talk a lot with her husband back then, Don. They both passed away, but they used to talk about like famous political figures. I mean, commentators like Bill O'Reilly. Bill O'Reilly came out a lot. That's when he was really big back then, late 90s. And then I started watching his show. And especially when I moved here to Los Angeles, when I started my career as a sports reporter, I would cover like sports during the daytime and nighttime. And then when I come back home, it was always Fox News. I would always watch Bill O'Reilly, the rerun at 1 a.m., and I would watch Sean Hannity. And that's where I really got to. I watched both, the left and the right shows. Bill Maher, Politically Incorrect. That was my favorite show too. And I think, yeah, the two Bills, the Bill Maher on the left and the Bill O'Reilly on the right. Those two figures influenced me a lot as a journalist when I started off. Yeah, and yeah, I even called in like Bill. I went to Bill Maher's show like 3 times, the studio, and I called in Bill O'Reilly when he used to do a radio show back in the day, Radio Factor, a couple times. Yeah,
That's so cool. That's so
is it?
interesting. I love that you are so balanced. A lot of people will only listen to certain channels, certain networks, certain people. So I love that you're like, I'll listen to everything, and that's how you sort of like
Mhm.
form your opinions and get your information, rather than just like listening to the things that confirm, your beliefs and what you want to hear. So I think that that's really cool. How are
Yeah.
you feeling about Bill Maher these days?
Bill Maher. So I didn't like him for a while, like for the past like 7, 8 years. I didn't watch his show that much. You were talking about Real Time with Bill Maher, right? And he
Mhm.
just changed a lot. Back then, he was not as no. Now he's sounding back how he used to sound back in the late 90s, 2000s, because he was not like a political like a far left guy back then. He was challenged both sides. And I don't think he didn't even vote for Al Gore back then. When Al Gore and George W. Bush was squaring off, so he sounded a little bit more like common sense dude. But then he went far left, anti-Trump every single time, and I think he sounds one of the more what do you say sensible
Yeah.
Democrat, sensible left. And I think privately he's rooting for Trump. In all honesty, I really think that privately he is, because all the things that he's talking about these days, he's criticizing the woke, the far left, how
Yes.
insane they are, the gender issues and all that. And I think all the policies when he talks about things, and even when you watch his podcast shows, he kind of he did say that the conservatives are more open for these kind of discourse. But
Yep.
the left wing party, the Democrats, they really do not want to even join these kind of talks unless there's certain boundaries all over the place. So I think Bill Maher draws a line there, and I think he's secretly, in my opinion, I think he's supposed to be a Democrat, but since the far left has gone so Looney Tunes, he had to become some sort of like a moderate dude, I guess.
Yes. I'm so happy that we are having this conversation. We've been talking about this a lot. I bring Bill Maher up a lot because we love common sense around
Yeah,
here. And
yeah.
so you may know, I don't know if you know, but I'm the bold lib, but
I
there's
think
a lot.
I know it. Yeah, I checked it.
But I also have found things on the left super extreme and radical. And so I'm being canceled and called a Nazi and a fascist just for asking questions and not subscribing to the echo chamber. So
Mhm.
people like Bill and John Fetterman like are really resonating with me right now because it's just,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, me too. Like, I supported Obama back in 2008 and 2012. So it's not like I'm a hardcore Republican, or I consider I consider myself an independent. So I just think that the left has become very odd. Um, Even with the LGBT. So I have like gay friends and and stuff. But even during the Biden administration, the LGBTQ plus agenda was too strong, like too full on, that you couldn't avoid it. And even though you don't want to talk about it, you're forced to. And like the COVID mandate, the COVID-19 vaccine mandate, it was very difficult to live here in California, by the way, as a reporter, because I am not vaccinated. And I refused to get vaccinated, so I had to always. It wasn't easy to cover even events, because just
Yeah.
because I wasn't vaccinated, I wasn't allowed to enter, like, for instance, like a city hall event and stuff, and it was
Mhm.
very difficult. And I think those conservatives would never do that. Conservatives would never just uh, demonize the other side. And even when you look at the Minnesota situation, I think the left always goes to these, like riots, or these violence. You don't hear a lot of conservative being that violent. I lived in Oklahoma for like 7, 8 years. I never met a white supremacist. So whenever the mainstream media or the legacy media talks about, we got to watch out, the KKK or white supremacy, a lot of Hollywood people talk about that. And I've never met any in Oklahoma. Oklahoma is a pretty white place, and they were all nice to me. Actually, I think they're probably more nicer than Californians, I guess. I mean, they it's just, I think they make this fabricated world where they want this world to exist, to bounce off and make people just support the democratic cause, I guess.
Yeah. I love everything you're saying. Very interesting points. Very interesting to hear. Um,
Thank you.
what are some of the, I mean, for you, because you've had quite a career in journalism, and I think you've sort of transitioned into podcasting now,
Yeah.
doing shows.
Hmm.
What are some of like and I know it sounds like it's always politics. Are there certain issues or topics that you're particularly passionate about?
So the issue that I was most passionate about is, I think Jay also said that once. I think it's a Trump-Russia collusion thing. It really bothered me a lot. That has been hanging on my head for like 7, 8 years, and I gave up. In a way, I kind of gave up on that, and also that one, and also the election integrity issue.
Mm,
So I was really happy last night when the FBI raided the uh, the election. What do you call that? In Georgia, Fulton County, right?
yeah.
The commission there, and I think we really want something to happen, because I really do believe in the 2020 election was rigged, and I do think that they did hack. I think Smartmatic has a huge issue. Actually, I think Patrick Byrne, the former CEO of Overstock, and he's also one of the uh, most famous election fraud expert. He said that Trump will attack Venezuela because of election fraud issue. That Venezuela, Maduro and his predecessor, Hugo Chavez, they were both involved in global election fraud for the past 20 years to 72 nations, including United States and also South Korea as well. So I think he exposed this last year, I think around July. So I kind of, because South Korea is also suffering because of that, the election fraud issue. So the left completely took over the entire system, like the media, the judiciary system, the president, and also the parliament. They're all left. And I don't think it was organic. It was by rigged elections there as well. And you have like pastors being jailed all the time. And it's just ridiculous what's going on in South Korea. And I think it's aligned. It's all because of the root cause of it is because of voter fraud, election integrity issue.
Well, that's a problem.
Yeah, it really
To
is. It
say the
really is.
least, right? Yeah. And
Yeah.
we always talk things like voter ID and all of that. I don't understand why
You're
everyone's
right.
not in support of that.
Like in California, if you show your ID, you know it's illegal, and it's just Looney Tunes. I think I do think a lot of undocumented people, you know, really do they vote. Actually, last year another news came out like a cat and a dog voted. You know,
Right.
and you didn't even know about it. The owner actually bragged about it on her Facebook account, and that's how the feds got to know it and investigate her. This is ridiculous. Yeah, we really do need ID at least. I mean, that's like the bare minimum. I mean, if we want to buy alcohol, you have to show your ID, and everywhere. Like if you want to take a plane, you got to show your ID. Whatever you want to do, you have to show your ID. But the most important thing in America for democracy, like voting, you don't have to show it. I think that's the reason why the Democratic Party wanted open border. According to some reports, 12 million people came under Biden administration, and 12 million is like more population than 37 states in America, and so it's just insane. I think they wanted them to flow in to rig the election. They want them to participate in our election system. To me, that's the only reason why, because I think the Democratic Party has been losing ground of not just the white votes, but even Hispanic votes. If you look at the recent poll, Trump got 53% approval rating, the most recent one, a couple days ago that came out. Even after all the Minnesota issue. So I think they wanted new voters. That's why they're bringing them in. And I think the Democratic Party is really, to me, they're engaging in a lot of evil things. In my opinion, it wasn't the Democratic Party back then. They were back then, but probably I was also wooed in to Obama's charisma back then. I thought that he was a better leader than John McCain, but I wasn't that gung-ho about John McCain. But I'm so glad that President Trump is back in the White House, at least, because I think he's trying to correct a lot of problems, in my view.
Most of us were not gung-ho about John McCain either.
Right? Yeah, I mean,
I've been hardcore conservative my whole life, and I didn't like John McCain either, but
Yeah, he's a hypocrite himself too, because he always wanted to get rid of Obamacare, but he was a single vote that was against it. That did not make that we couldn't repeal the Obamacare. And Obamacare has been decimating the middle class, no question about it. And the deductibles and the premiums has skyrocketed, and people don't even have they don't even want to have it.
There was no greater enemy to veterans benefits than John McCain too, which was completely counterintuitive. Like, you would think that John McCain, former POW, Navy veteran, that he would be protecting veterans benefits. Absolutely the opposite. He was always trying to cut veterans benefits, trying to screw us over any chance he could get. I hate him, and Meghan McCain blocked me as a result because I called him out on it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, John McCain really has an issue. And people always criticize Trump when he said that John McCain only became a hero because he was caught. He said that, and it became a national uproar, controversy. But if you think about it, Trump has actually gave contribution to John McCain's campaign against Obama. So I think Trump wanted some kind of favor back when he was running for president. But John McCain was kind of he was bashing Trump like he's a clown candidate, that he's a Looney Tune clown candidate. So that's why Trump attacked John McCain. So I think we have to always put these in context. And Trump being Trump, if somebody attacks him, he's gonna definitely go back at you.
How, Michael, for you, how does covering American politics feel different? Doing it through a Korean American lens, like through your experience.
Yeah. So I started my journalist career from 2002, and I can honestly tell you, every single Korean American or any Asian American or Chinese American or Japanese American, they only covered politics from the left wing side, because they pretty much translated what was on New York Times, Washington Post, CNN, ABC, NBC, CBS, which definitely leans left. I am the first Korean American conservative. So you're having the very first Korean American conservative here. Nobody was conservative until I came into the
Wow.
picture, and I became a very. I immediately became very controversial in the community, both here and even in South Korea, because they never heard about this. They don't even know who Bill O'Reilly, Sean Hannity is. In all honesty, even to this day, probably many of them don't. I think I did open the gates to a lot of people, and there's also another YouTuber who started covering American politics. Now he's covering Korean politics, but a lot of people did follow suit afterwards. But I was the first one because I started writing articles about it since 2012. And I started doing my podcast show back when I was a newspaper reporter at Korea Daily, which is the largest Korean American paper here in the States and number 2 in South Korea. But here, I started a podcast from 2017 called Michael Wan's Op-Ed, and that's when I did my daily show and did conservative commentary, not necessarily always following what Fox News did, because I didn't, And I told to Jay before, I saw Donald Trump's ascent back into the 2000s, because he used to be a Fox News, pretty much he acted like a Fox News contributor. And I could see, I pretty much agreed almost 100% of what he had to say, even back then. So I remember I never missed any of his interviews. Whenever he did an interview, like in Fox News, like Fox and Friends, or for instance, back in the day, Greta Van Susteren, she used to be a CNN anchorwoman. She would also invite Trump pretty regularly, and they would give this entire 1-hour block to him. And now I'm thinking in retrospect, was that an entire plan to make him a presidential candidate? But so I was the first Korean American conservative. Still am, I think. Still am. There are some reporters who agree with me, but they would. There are some, but I don't
admit it.
But some of them won't admit it. But there are some who does admit it, but nobody out there like me. I think I'm pretty much the only one in the newspaper or the
How has
broadcast.
that been for you? I can't imagine that has been easy for you.
I was yes. So they considered me controversial, but I would gain a lot of subscribers. So it was less than 100, the Korea Daily subscriber, YouTube subscriber. But I would quickly gain, and I would get 100,000 views minimum per episode down the road. And then I was getting too big, so to speak. The channel was getting popular, and we were getting ad money that they couldn't do anything about me, even though they didn't agree with me, or they didn't know what I was even talking about, in all honesty. But I think a lot of people did. I would say now it's almost like 40% of the Korean Americans are conservative, at least. And I think I do think that I had a lot to do with that, because all the conservatives here, every single Korean American conservatives here, they probably know me, who speak in Korean, because I was the first one out of the gate.
My Korean American my Korean and Korean American subscribers are the ones that brought me to Michael. They were the ones that said, "Hey, you need to do a show with him or whatever." They because I have a bunch of them, and they were they lined this up, and that's how we linked up together is through them. Super based accounts.
Yes. And there are conservatives in South Korea, and they would watch a lot of my show. So many South Korean conservatives about American politics, but I was the only conservative commentator as a journalist, and I broke a lot of news, and it's not like I just pretty much say what Fox News has to say, but I actually interviewed with a lot of powerful figures like Larry Elder, or Laura Loomer, or Bill O'Reilly. I also talked with him, and to show other people, because but I could see. I mean, that's the reason why, because they never heard about these stories that I had to talk about. And then I don't think it's because of necessarily just me, but because it was so new to them. They only heard what the New York Times had to say, or Washington Post had to say, or Associated Press had to say, but they never heard the other side, like not just Fox News, but like Breitbart, or Glenn Beck, or even independent journalists like like Candace Owens or Dave Rubin, or I wasn't a huge fan of Ben Shapiro, but still, and I always said, this is not about left or right. It's about being right or wrong. And I didn't kind of say that I didn't even like to say that I'm conservative, because I'm a journalist. So I thought I should be down the road, down in the middle. But the environment kind of forced me to become a conservative. Now I can't just say I'm not even down the middle, I think, because the middle is not there anymore. It's not non-existent, and it's either left or right. And yeah, and I think I'm glad that I did. I mean, I didn't plan to be a journalist, in all honesty, initially, but I became that way. I think God paved this way for me, and I didn't know that I would become the first Korean American conservative, but that's how, what came about. I couldn't believe it because the newspaper company that I work for, it has almost like a 50-year history, 50-year plus history, but every single, like, for the past 50 years, there's not a single conservative. That's alarming, right? Isn't that kind of so? It's kind of
Yeah,
I thought I'm relatively young, but for me to be the first conservative, it really goes to show how people are brainwashed.
yeah. Well, you brought up a good point where, you've been speaking a lot about being balanced and listening to a variety of sources
Yeah.
and doing a variety of interviews with people on, all sides. And I think that that's such a good way to, challenge. I guess that begs the question, does the public actually want to know the truth or do they just want confirmation of what they already believe?
What I feel is I think some people do not want to face the truth. That's what I realized. And some people are really into conspiracy theories too. And I think the right side, the conservative side, what frustrated me the most was like the QAnon movement. I don't know whether we all remember it back in 2020. So I followed every single drop too, but there were clear fake informations there. And it even happened in the Korean American side because I was the one who first talked about it, and some people blamed me for it because they said, "Hey, I learned Q because of you." But I would always caution them: do not believe this 100% because there are some information that's completely wacky, and they would, you know what I mean? Like enjoy the show. They would always give these kind of drops, like, and it's like Trump is control. It's like Trump is like some kind of messiah. Okay, that's what. 5D chess, you're right. But obviously you could see that Trump was in a huge predicament. There's no question about it. He almost went to jail, right? And you can't, and then these people, they think it was all a plan. Even him being shot, that's a plan. So to me, that's also living in this Looney Tune world too. But back to your question, I do think that some people do not want to face the truth. And that's a huge problem because I can't function without knowing the truth. At least we have to know the truth. That's how you can base your analysis upon. Your analysis can only be as good as how the evidence is true. You have to build up your analysis through true evidence, not fake stuff.
Yeah.
Right? Then you can go and gauge where it goes. But I think one of the reason why this world is so wacky as it is because there are people like that. I think they don't want to see the truth. I do think I didn't want to believe that, but I came to conclusion that there are some people, no matter what you say, they would just not believe it. But it doesn't mean that we shouldn't put effort though. We should. I think that's why I do my podcast. I try to persuade a lot of people. I lost a lot of my fans too because I criticized a lot of conspiracy theory that has been going on the right side. Believe me, there was a day I lost like 1,500 subscribers, and my viewership dipped, but I just couldn't stand it. I couldn't live in that kind of fake world.
I respect that a lot, though. I respect that so much that it's important to you to be, keep it real and
I think it's a lot of effort too to like be well educated, and honestly, people just don't want to make the effort. Michael, I come from a Filipino family, so and my grandmother I would think that she would align herself. So like I would describe her as like a Kennedy Democrat, which I feel like they don't exist anymore. And I feel like, she watches her CNN and her NBC and whatever. And I feel like she especially since she's older, she's almost like blind to how crazy and wacky the left has gotten. And I mean, during 2020, it was obvious everywhere, but I feel like it's definitely unless you're out on the internet or looking for those things, you're almost not going to realize the culture of the left these days. So I feel like there's a lot of, you know, older people, especially like, and like minorities, like Asian people, who sort of believe in like an old Democrat party that doesn't really exist anymore. And it always blows my mind because my grandmother, she's retired now, but she was very successful. She worked her entire life. Like, she was a banker. She deals with money. She's very intelligent. Like, her principles definitely align with what the Conservative Party would be today, but she's not interested in hearing about it, you know, at all, which is interesting to me. But yeah, I think it's effort, and I think it's a lack of involvement in the culture and like the way politics is moving online and getting so many people's, you know, opinions. I think if you're not in those spaces, you're just going to watch the news and take that, and that's all the information you're getting. So it's they're diversifying the location you get your news and resources, I think, is really important in staying truly informed and forming an opinion that's outside of just regurgitating what you hear.
I think the legacy media, as much as we would like to bash it, I think it's still powerful. That's what I think. I think I can see it from the Korean American community that there are many people who think that it's pretty much like the Bible, the gospel. Whatever the New York Times, the front page of the New York Times, they would follow that narrative. It still has brand power. You know, because and even though New York Times, they never endorsed a Republican presidential candidate since 1956, since the second term of Dwight Eisenhower. They never endorsed a Republican presidential candidate, which shows that how far left they are. And Washington Post, they never endorsed a Republican presidential candidate. So we would know that, but still they have such a powerful brand power that Angela, you also mentioned it, that even though the truth might be different, but if the New York Times, Washington Post, and this apparatus say this, and they pretty much say the same thing, right? If this echo chamber is really still powerful, sometimes I ask myself, did we still gain? Did the podcast world and the truth tellers and, you know, people on X, Rumble, and, you know, to a large extent YouTube, because YouTube became a little bit more free. Did we gain enough ground to beat them? And sometimes I wonder, I don't think we're that big yet. You know, I think there are still people who are living in those legacy media world.
I agree.
Yeah. And, Even my conservative friends, like a lot of my conservative friends that aren't on X and stuff like that, they don't have a clue what's going on.
Right.
They've probably heard about Nicki Minaj, but they haven't heard about they probably don't know about the Somalians in Minnesota. Like, they probably just like briefly know about it or whatever. Like, they don't really know that much about it, but like, you know, just because of like the outrage or whatever, like Nicki Minaj is probably like they're seeing a lot of that stuff or whatever. But now, you know, it's really weird for me because like I'll talk to them about stuff, and these are conservative people. Like, most of my friends are like retired Army like me, and they don't have a clue what I'm talking about. And it's just like,
right.
Okay, buddy, it's really weird for me, you know, when we talk about Elon Musk saving free speech and like preserving free speech with X, it's kind of wild how he really did. Like, like us talking about it, like, we're hyper aware of a lot of this, regardless of how you feel about it or whatever. We're hyper aware of the things that are going on, and people outside of this sphere do not have a freaking clue what's going on. Like, TikTok maybe a little bit, but like on Facebook, forget about it. Like, they're completely clueless as to what's going on, and it's just really wild. Like, you know, how you have sexist society that are like super informed. Like, I believe that like the general public is more informed than they've ever been on some stuff, and some parts of society are completely just not informed on anything. Like, they just are it's so wildly uninformed. It's crazy. So
yeah, you're right.
It reminds me of the Twitter files, like when all that came out, we realized like oh, the administration is working with this social media, company to suppress people who disagree with it. Like, it was literally documented, and we saw emails and everything. And like, I feel like that was just a blip. Like, if you weren't on Twitter at the time, you didn't really hear about it. And it was like, that was a huge deal. Like, that was a massive deal. And so many people just didn't know that that was happening, and the effect of Elon buying it, and like how much that really meant to, especially our community on Twitter, who were the ones that were being suppressed and taken down and reported and whatnot by the administration themselves. And it's just crazy, like, that wasn't a bigger deal.
You're right. Even, as a journalist, I didn't really join in the the Twitter world, because I was so busy doing reporting myself, and pretty much YouTube was all I could handle among all the social media. I wasn't that active on Facebook and all that. And then later, I think when President Trump announced his presidency, I think he kind of made it a little bit popular, right? Because he would put a lot of tweets in the middle of the night. But other than him, I wouldn't follow that much. I always had my account since the early 2000s. I think is it mid 2000s? But later it was my other friends who told me to join in, young friends who said, you gotta join Twitter, or you're missing out a lot. And then I really, like you said, Twitter Files was huge. I think that, and many people didn't know about it unless Fox News reported about it. You're right. And I think a lot of conservatives are not really used to going to X. I can say that even in the Korean American community, very few people actually go there, especially people who are 40 and older. I think they don't, they're not used to it. Many of them are still.
Well, it's funny. Sorry, go ahead, Hannah.
Oh, I was just going to say, I think that's pretty common. Like, people I talk to outside of, in real life, if my X account comes up or whatever, like nobody is ever like, oh, really? I don't really use that app, or like, oh, I have that app, but I don't, look at it. That's the response I usually get. Like, no, I've never met anybody who's like, oh, I'm on X too. Like, I'll follow you. Wow. Like, it just doesn't happen.
So yeah, I probably a lot of people, the Democrats, did they leave to Blue Sky a lot? I don't know whether there's still a lot of liberals here in the X world, or do you think it became an echo chamber now? Because all the feeds that I'm getting, because I'm conservative, it's all, pretty much right. So I'm not saying, probably Angela, you might know better because you.
Yeah, a lot of people I know left X that are on the left. Yeah, a lot did. In my
Blue Sky, they went to Blue Sky.
Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Blue Sky. I have an account over there, anonymous. It's actually a parody account. It's very easy to make. You just have to say the most ridiculous stuff ever. And Barack Obama.
They love you, right?
Barack Obama. It's funny because Barack Obama's chief of staff has me blocked on X, and he's following me on Blue Sky.
Oh my god.
Whatever, but
yeah, but I'm very grateful to Elon Musk. If it wasn't for X, because I really had a difficult time as a journalist. I was in pretty much depression since 2021 because my YouTube subscribers did not grow a single person, for 3-4 years, because I was talking about election integrity issues, and definitely I couldn't talk about vaccines. So I always had to tiptoe around. That's why I opened up a Rumble account. And I couldn't believe it, and probably I was even thinking about going back to Korea if Kamala would have won. It's like, it was horrendous. It was really horrendous. All the things, I could feel how a communist nation, we could feel the taste of it, right, Jay? I did, you couldn't talk freely. I couldn't even talk the term voter fraud in my YouTube channel, or I would get a strike. Yeah. That's how much of suppression that we were living under. So I'm really grateful to Elon Musk. And if President Trump didn't win, I think probably YouTube would have still restricted a lot of things. And I mean, that's one of the reasons why I couldn't become an independent journalist. I thought I could, because I accumulated 130,000 subscribers back when I was at Korea Daily. So I felt like, I had enough following to start my own business, but I couldn't, because after a couple of months, I had 47,000 subscribers, but then it wouldn't grow, and they banned all the advertisement, every single thing, and I think I was pretty much blacklisted by Google, people.
Wow. Well, I'm glad that you didn't leave, and I'm glad that things did work out for you.
Yeah, I was a little bit joking, but it was really that bad here in California,
But
especially.
no, I mean,
it was bad.
yeah.
California was bad, I think, especially during that time.
I just wanted to point out, because Mancu said this, many conservatives don't really know much. They are on X, but I was surprised by that, because I thought a lot of conservatives are on X, but
well, I mean, they are, but they aren't. A lot of conservatives are not on social media. This is what in Georgia, like I try and get politicians to come on X. I'm like, you need to come on the platform that's supporting you, but they put out stuff on Facebook or whatever, and they just, that's the way we do it here or whatever. And it's just like, okay, well, if you're not going to support the platform that's supporting you, then you're going to miss out on a huge audience, because there's a lot of conservatives over here on X. So that's on them. But I try and impress upon them, what you can do on here. It's crazy. I've tagged politicians in posts, and they've co-sponsored bills the next day. Like, that's wild what you can do on here. So, it's fun, it's memes or whatever, but like you can do real stuff on here, and they're serious people here too. You can have fun, and you can also do zero stuff on X. So.
Absolutely. I want to thank Ange too for reposting the stream, and Tony. And Ange said it's like trying to have a conversation with someone who isn't on X. They honestly have no idea what's happening, which is interesting. So some of my liberal friends who have left X, I try to have conversations with them where I tell them about these streams, these conversations that we're having. And it's like, oh, like, that's just, you're the people on X. It's like, no, these things are really like going on. And I just wanted to, something you said earlier, Michael, that I was thinking of is Bill Maher made this comment about the left and trying to have people on his podcast to like have conversations. And a lot of people on the left will not go on his show. He's like, I invite them. I invite Kamala. I invite, and they won't come on. And that actually, it happens a lot in the podcast world. I'm sure you see as well. And I've been a person as the bold lib who will go but it seems like a lot of people won't. And again, why are you scared to have conversations, right? So when we talk about this whole like getting to the truth and like being real and like, let's have the dialogue. And if you still disagree or you can still have your opinion, but why not even, it's weird to me, like to not even want to have, like, I can't even have a conversation with you.
I think it's an extension of Trump derangement syndrome. You know how they say about how they canceled Trump, even when he was president, right? They even canceled him. And I remember watching one episode of America's Got a Talent. And there was one guy who was kind of dressed like Donald Trump, President Trump, and they were all booing him off stage. And I felt like it's kind of like an extension. Oh, since you support Trump, we can't align. We can't even have a conversation with you. Like, we're so holier than thou.
Yes.
Even though they're godless, they consider themselves holier than thou, better standard, higher standard, that you guys are not, you guys are not good enough for me to even engage in a conversation. Either that, or they really don't have any clue what they're talking about, and they don't have the logic to even come to the shows and talk. Because I think that's the clear difference. Conservatives, we engage in conversation, and I'm always open to give up my idea if it's wrong, and accept if the Democrat, for instance, has a better idea, then I would gladly join it. But right now, it's very hard to see any single subject or topic that I can agree with on the Democratic side. It's really difficult. It's like this. They're very far away from common sense.
Power is addicting, right? Power. That's what's happening, right? During COVID, they had the power to silence people.
Yes.
And so it's hard to let go of that. Even politicians, you see, like they want to stay in power because they love that control. They love the influence that they have or whatever. That's why we see these people staying all the way until they die. Like politicians that are 90 plus years old dying in office or whatever, but it's addictive to them. It's addictive in through social media. and through the pandemic or whatever, it gave a lot of people a lot of power. Just even, you know, small influencers, right? You could cancel somebody for, you know, having a different opinion than you, and that's very addictive to them, and it's hard to let go of that. And we're seeing you know, the why it's so hard for them to let go, because they really they want to keep that going. They want to keep the power that they had. They want to keep controlling the narrative. They want to keep it things in their favor, and to be able to shut down your argument regardless of whether you're right or wrong, because they have that on so many different platforms. Blue Sky is a good example. If you bring up anything conservative on Blue Sky, you're gone. Your account is gone, like quick. Wow. TikTok, it's you know, it's, you can say some things on there, but there are a lot of things that you cannot say on TikTok, and your account will be gone. I go through my followers list all the time, and there'll be like 20 accounts that are gone, like in my followers list, like every single day, like just bam, gone, because they got banned on there. They said something super conservative or whatever, and they're gone from there or whatever. So it's crazy. But, you know, at least on X, you know, people complain about it or whatever. People complain about the algorithm and stuff like that. But the thing is like, you can say, you know, what you want to say on here. Yep. You may not get out to everybody. You may not have super reach, but the thing is like, you're allowed to say a lot of different, you have more freedom to say a lot of different things on here. Yeah. And you can say some QAnon crazy stuff, and you can say some crazy leftist stuff or whatever. And like, you know, people may like that or whatever.
I don't see a lot of QAnon stuff these days, but I heard that it was really big during Trump's first term.
Oh man.
Right?
Yeah,
it was everywhere, right?
It's crazy. Like some of the stuff that people are saying, it's just like, man, you're making us like idiots.
But I understand it, because that's how much we felt attacked as a conservative, you know, because all the media, the big tech, the mainstream media, big pharma, the big Hollywood, all of them were against conservatives. So I understand the reason why the Q movement happened, because I mean, that's how people felt. You know, we wanted some kind of force that can fight back against it, but conservatives really didn't have anything other than Fox News. Let's be honest. Other than Fox News and probably Twitter, we didn't have anything. YouTube would suppress, and you know, and I think that's why sometimes these Q movement and all these conspiracy theories just happens out of like backlash almost.
Well, you literally had 3-letter agencies contributing to this.
Yes.
You had 3-letter agencies contributing to the censorship online. And so it's wild. Like, you know, the MK Ultra stuff, like it's literally happening in real time. Like they're literally like censoring people. Like my account got banned. I posted a picture of Hunter Biden on Jill Biden's page or whatever, and I don't remember what I said. What did I say? Decency is on the ballot or something like that. It wasn't even a crazy picture. It was the one, like, I actually got it off of X. He's laying on the couch and his nieces are around them, and I said decency is on the ballot. My count was gone, completely like gone. And the only reason, the only reason I got it back was because Gunther Eagleman and Texas One bitched about it online, and an ex-engineer brought me back online. That was the only reason I got my account back. But like literally, they took me off the internet, and that was when Joe Biden was still in office or whatever. But they literally banned my account. Crazy.
Wow. I wanted to say something that I really agreed with that you said, Michael, about speaking to the ego and this sort of like high horse that has been my people on the left are on. That has totally been my experience with a lot of people, is this whole just like you said, holier than thou, this ego trip. We're the, you know, and they're always right. Like they, you know, and they won't even listen. Like they won't entertain the idea. So it's just everything gets shut down so quickly. There's not really this active listening component. If you try to have a conversation, it's just like, and then not only that, they're quick to shut you down, and then it's name calling and nastiness. And so yeah, I really agreed with what you said about that.
They just demonize people, and Yeah, I think sometimes I wonder whether they're taking orders. Somebody high up there say, "Hey, do not even engage with them," like these whether it's talking heads or some community leaders in the meetup or like Blue Sky, don't even engage with them, because I think probably they are worried. Somebody like it could be like George Soros or Obama kind of figures saying that do not engage, because once you engage and have conversation, they're worried about them converting. Because it doesn't make sense. Their side doesn't make sense, If their side really did make sense, and if they're confident about it, then why wouldn't you want to convert people? Because they can be they're all votes, right? They're losing votes. And I think probably it's a defense mechanism. I don't know. I mean, I thought a lot about it, actually.
Yeah. Well, it's frustrating for me because people are very quick to like label and put you in a box, right? So now just because I'm even having this conversation, like I have so many people attacking me. What happened to you? Like really just like nasty about it, when I'm not saying even that I'm conservative now, or, they're like, you're MAGA now. I mean, and all I'm doing is talking to people on all different sides, right? It's like,
Right.
I haven't come out and said any of that.
We're not helping. We're not helping that, saying that we're going to give you a Trump 2028 ad. We're not helping.
But then I laugh, and I'm not openly saying that. I'm not saying that I'm not, left anymore. Like, but I'm able to. Yeah, so you can't think outside the box at all.
But funnily enough, it happened on the conservative side too, Jay. You know it too. When Charlie Kirk, I think that's one of the controversies that's surrounding Charlie Kirk, is that Charlie Kirk wanted to invite Tucker Carlson for his AmFest event, on Turning Point USA event, and he was saying a lot of things very critical of the Israeli government, and I think because of that, a lot of conservatives wanted to cancel Tucker out of it, and even Candace Owens, who used to be a Trump supporter and MAGA. But I do see some of that component happening on the conservative side, which is a little bit sad, because a lot of people wanted to cancel out Tucker Carlson. And also Nick Fuentes, he's completely banned among all conservative formats, I think, other than Rumble. And that controversy is kind of a little bit there. It's not just, so the conservative side, we're not like completely free, because like I heard like Dave Rubin and some of the conservatives actually pressured Megyn Kelly to not engage in conversation with Tucker, or something like that, or Candace Owens. So yeah, I see a little bit of that happening on the conservative side, which is a little bit worrisome, but I also understand at the same time, because of the power dynamic of how sensitive and controversial it can be if you talk about the Israeli government.
That's interesting. I want to invite anybody who has questions, comments for Michael specifically, but obviously any of us, to put them in the chat. I think last question, kind of on, focusing on Michael, and obviously we want to continue to hear your thoughts as we transition into some fun current topics. But I guess the last question, do you believe journalists should still strive for neutrality, or I guess in general should strive for neutrality, or is transparency more important?
I think both are important, because I also don't want to be labeled like a right-wing hack, and I don't think I am. Even with I think the truth is what's important, because journalists, we're supposed to be, following the truth. The truth should be the motivator for us. But apparently a lot of journalists don't act that way. If you look at like CNN or MS Now, they're propagandist, I think. That's why I give a little bit of slack to Fox News, because we needed Fox News, because we never had a counterpoint. But I think, truth and what was the second one? Angela, you said that is neutrality more important, and what was?
Oh yeah, neutrality, transparency.
So transparency is also very important. So before, I would never tell people I was a conservative. When I was in the paper or radio, I told people that I'm down the middle, I'm independent, which I was. I didn't blindly support Republicans too. I did support Donald Trump, because he was pretty much an outsider. He didn't sound like a Republican, actually. A lot of his policies, like the tariff policy, that's more leaning to the left. Bernie Sanders was saying the same thing. So he's kind of like a hybrid figure who kind of changed. So he's a genius. I really do think President Trump is a political genius. He changed the entire fabric of the Republican Party. Now, if you're not MAGA, you can't pretty much join in the Republican Party. To me, that's a positive, in all honesty. But I do think both are important: being true and also transparent.
Yeah, no, I hear you on that. I feel like in general, so many of us are calling for transparency and are sick of like the lies and right with all this like independent journalism going on. I think we're all like really loving that. Like, let's expose, let's expose things, and something I've heard you say over and over in this hour has been truth, like the truth and being a truth teller. And I love that. And I think that's beautiful. I respect that. I can't imagine anyone wouldn't respect that. Is being a truth teller. And searching for that.
Yeah, thank you. And one of the reasons why I started my show was actually, it wasn't to pander the conservatives. I wanted to persuade people who think differently. And I wanted to engage in conversation. That was a reason. That was a motivator. It wasn't because I wanted to just talk to the echo chamber. That's a boring thing, actually, right? Somebody would clap you all the time, applause, give applause. You want to, I think the fun part is when you change people's minds, and the fun part is sometimes I change my mind too. And that's the fun part.
Well, I love that. I hope more people adopt that philosophy because, like some people just think that they know everything and they have nothing to learn. And I think that is such a good approach to take. And I aspire and try to be the same way, where I want to have conversations. I want to be open. I want to listen. I don't know everything. And we all grow and evolve and change, hopefully, as human beings. And we can learn so much from other people and about ourselves and why we have certain beliefs and opinions. And maybe they do change over time based on our experiences, and that's okay.
Yeah. And the Democratic Party, they're losing ground. They lost a lot of people. They lost Robert Kennedy Jr. They lost Joe Rogan. They lost Tulsi Gabbard. They lost a lot of people. Dave Rubin was also a left-wing guy too. And you lost a bunch of influencers because of their stubborn attitude to not even engage. And I never thought that they were higher than me or holier than thou, even though they might consider themselves that way. And I think if they want to play that game, they shouldn't be in politics. They're in a wrong game.
Yeah. Well, this has been amazing. It's not over. It's not over, guys. It's not over. But we do want to talk a little bit about Nicki Minaj. Let's watch a clip.
Yeah.
Hello. Well, I don't know what to say, but I will say that I am probably the president's #1 fan. And that's not going to change. And the hate or what people have to say, it does not affect me at all. It actually motivates me to support him more. And it's going to motivate all of us to support him more. We're not going to let them get away with bullying him and, the smear campaigns. It's not going to work, okay? He has a lot of force behind him, and God is protecting him. Amen. Okay.
So this was their joint appearance at the Trump Accounts Summit in Washington, D.C. yesterday, hosted by the U.S. Treasury Department to promote Trump accounts. As you heard, she declared herself his #1 fan. Apparently they held hands at one point, and he joked about grooming his nails to match her Pink Friday nails brand. She pledged somewhere between 150 and 350K to fund Trump accounts for fans, etc. Today posted on X showing off her Trump gold card was a whole thing. So I know Hannah is excited to talk about this because Hannah has been a Nicki fan for a long time.
For a long time. Yesterday was a great day. I texted so many of my friends the photo of them. And I was like, it's the best day of my life. I was geeking out all day yesterday. I mean, Michael asked me before, like, was I surprised or did I, know? Being a longtime fan, I think a lot of Barbs can attest to this. You kind of know she's always been on this side. She was very anti-vaccine when that all happened. So I was not surprised to see her out here. I think it's great that Trump is supporting her and giving her kudos too, because I think she does get shit on a lot because of her views and her beliefs and what she says and what she stands up for. And it makes me really happy to see him like standing behind her literally and supporting her. And it's funny because my dad has wanted grandkids forever. He's bugged me about this for years. And I always kind of like, oh, yeah, I'll get their dad. But yesterday, she had a different event that she went to speak at. She said, Barbs need to have babies. And so I texted my dad and I said, you've been telling me for years, but the one thing that might get me to do it is Nicki telling me to do it.
How do you feel about that? That she has more sway and influence than he does?
Yeah, that's what he said. He's like, what? Oh, you'll listen when she says it? I'm like, yeah, of course. It's Nicki. Like, I ride for my girl. I am not new to this. I am true to this.
Yeah.
And we have proof.
Yes.
Actually, so
proof?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, we have proof.
What kind of proof? Oh.
Let's check the date on there. September 2nd, 2015. Guys, I'm a millennial. We posted Woman Crush Wednesdays and Man Crush Mondays. That's what we did. It was a sign of the times. But 2015, there she was, my Woman Crush Wednesday. And then we have another earlier one, I believe.
I don't have it now.
Or we don't have it. I posted
I have it, but I don't have it. But
that's okay.
But I know. I saw the evidence.
2013 was my first Woman Crush Wednesday post. So this I had to prove I'm a longtime Nicki fan. I ride for Nicki. So I'm thrilled about all this.
Yeah.
I will it's on site with yes.
That's the other one. That's going to be hard to see the date, but I can see the date, and it's February 6, 2013. So
she's super popular. I mean, I have heard, Nicki Minaj music, some of them, and everybody was talking about her. She's like the most probably along with Taylor Swift. Am I overrating her or underrating her? Or other than Taylor Swift, I think I heard the name Nicki Minaj a lot, even though I kind of left. I'm also a huge music fan, but I kind of left the scene ever since my busy, because of my work. I didn't get to catch up a lot, but I already heard that she's being canceled.
She's not. She's not cancelable. Like she's big enough.
You can't cancel her.
You can't cancel her.
she's too
Some
big.
of the friends unfollowed her, right? That's what happened. Some of her friends unfollowed.
That doesn't
she's uncancelable.
Yeah, she said, that's gonna make her strong. Like she's on. That's the cool part about this, right? She's big enough to where even if they do cut her out or whatever, it really doesn't matter. People are gonna still listen to what she's got to say or whatever. And it's in that the thing about it is it opens the door for smaller artists, right?
That's great.
It opens the door for smaller artists. Hey, this is okay. She's being overt about this and she's still okay or whatever. And she's going to get a lot of support. Like conservatives are going to support her or whatever. And like, I will support people that are standing up for themselves and stuff like that. Like, I'm not a huge Nicki Minaj fan or whatever, but like some of her songs I do like, to be honest with you. And so like, I will go out of my way to support somebody who's doing the right thing. How could you be mad about somebody trying to get more money for kids to go to college? Like, how could that make you upset? Like, literally the left has bitched about it for years and years, free college or whatever. And then people are trying to get kids college money, like Nicki Minaj or whatever. And then now they're like canceling her because it happens to, be with President Trump. Like, it's just ridiculous. Like this is one of those moments where you can just be like, okay, this is a good thing, and it really doesn't, we don't have to like attack her for it, right? Like I may not align with President Trump, but like what they're doing with the Trump accounts is in good faith, and they're trying to help people out. So like you can just say like, it's okay, I can just leave this one alone.
I think that's what's frustrating is it's like it reminds me of a tweet that I saw that I think of so often that said, something along the lines of like discourse with leftists especially is almost impossible because they pretend not to understand things. And it's like, that's exactly it. It doesn't matter how you feel about Trump or this administration or ICE or whatever. That has nothing to do with what Nicki is there to do. She's there to support Trump accounts and make it known that she, you know, is helping fund that literally with her own money. And they can't even like, they can't separate the fact it's Trump derangement syndrome. They can't separate her doing a good thing for the children of this country versus, oh, she's standing next to Trump, she's evil too.
Well, in the right too is so like looking like, because they, you know, the media and pop culture like portrays us as like, you know, we're just like, we're not accepting of people, like we're a Nazi party, like, and so the right is looking for these pop icons to kind of grab onto and bring them into the fold to show that it's really not about that. It's really about helping your country. And the thing is like, you know, with Amber Rose or whatever, like we embraced her, right? She had a fantastic speech at a Trump, like one of the best speeches at a Trump rally ever. And, you know, we brought her in the fold, and then we tried with Kanye West, and then we realized, oh my God, he's actually crazy. Like, this is not who we want. Actually, like, he likes Hitler. Okay, but this dude doesn't need to be in here.
But it was still a huge thing when Kanye endorsed Trump, right? And before he went crazy. Do you think it was a bigger deal? So I was super happy too, because I know that Nicki Minaj is a huge deal, you know, culturally. It really shifts a lot of young people's minds too. Do you think this moment is bigger, Nicki Minaj, you know, endorsing Trump, or Kanye back in the day endorsing Trump? Which one is bigger?
Well, I think they were both big because they're huge icons, and they're both kind of uncancelable. Even Kanye says the crazy stuff about like Hitler, like he like we do not need to associate with him. Like honestly, like nobody needs to associate like some of the stuff he says, and I feel bad for him. Honestly,
Kanye he apologized. He recently put a Wall Street Journal ad, and he apologized. And I think he was just spiting people. In my opinion, I think he was just trying to spiting people.
I don't think he believes a lot of the stuff he says. No. I think he struggles mentally, but we do not need to associate with that, though, some of the stuff that he says, because that's not what we're about. But the thing is like bringing these people into the fold, I think is a net positive for us, because we are not Nazis. We are regular people. We have kids, you know, we are just trying to make a better life for, you know, people around us. And so it really, it's not, you know, it's just about following the law. It's about, you know, making things more affordable and, you know, doing what's right. And that's really all. That's really what the conservative platform is. You know, it's just trying to make a better life and trying to make it easier for the average person. That's really it.
Michael, I wanted to kind of answer your question as well. I think that you had asked if Kanye was bigger, like it was bigger deal when Kanye did, or if Nicki. I personally, being a Barb, I think that this is a bigger deal culturally, and I think it will have more of an impact. I think Kanye is kind of controversial, and I think his fans really follow his music and stuff. But I think that with Nicki Minaj fans, I know I'm not the only one that's like a diehard lifelong Nicki Minaj fan. Like a lot of her fans are very committed to her. And like yesterday, my whole Twitter feed was just like stan Twitter for Nicki. And I saw so many posts of people like, I'm going to research this now. I'm going to like read about this now, because Nicki she's always very like encouraging to her fans to be educated and, you know, finish school, do your research, like be smart. Don't just be pretty, be smart. And so I think just her being who she is and her fans following her as closely as they do, I think this is going to inspire a lot more people to at least investigate it a little bit. I've even seen posts on Nicki Stan Twitter about people who have already gone from registering as a Democrat to registering as a Republican because she was there yesterday. So I think culturally this has a bigger impact, and I think it will change more people's minds than Kanye coming out.
Because she talked about the Nigerian Christians being persecuted and things, a lot of issues, and I became her fan too, and I was catching up I was checking. I clicked Nicki Minaj on YouTube to try to catch up on some of because I got interested in what she has to sing. Because I don't know. Actually, I don't know probably any of her songs. I'm sorry, but Hannah, but I'll catch up. I'll catch up. You know, I'll catch up.
Yes,
You know,
Because
Start
you
with
know, I
Pink
listen to
Friday.
old. I'm a Michael Jackson fan, so I listen to a lot of MJ music or Guns N' Roses. So I
Yes.
go back. I go back. So sorry, it's not just Nicki.
It's
I missed out a lot of that era. Even BTS. Somebody had to force feed me. I didn't even know that. What was that? Golden song,
Oh yeah,
Oh,
from
and
yeah.
everybody else.
K-pop
Yeah,
Demon
it
Hunters.
was actually my Jewish friend who introduced me to.
Oh my gosh,
Did
that's
you know
funny.
this? So I'm even K-pop stuff. I don't know that much. So. But I'm gonna catch up. But Nicki Minaj really interests me. Yeah, I can tell you that. I think
She's got Taylor
she's
Swift
different.
pull. Like she's honestly
Yeah.
like she has the type of pull where if she tells people to vote a certain way, honestly, there's gonna be people that are gonna vote.
Yeah. Because I see her news every day though, because she would always pop. I mean, so I knew that she was a huge figure, and of course I see her on TV. I saw her performances and stuff. Didn't she had some kind of controversy with Mariah Carey back in the day? By the way,
She's had all sorts of
I
controversies,
mean,
but
like,
yes,
I just kind of
yes,
remember when they were both judges, right? And they had some kind of bickering.
yes.
And I felt, oh yeah, she's a feisty, girl.
She doesn't take any shit,
Yeah.
that's for sure.
That's what I thought from that.
Well, I think her and Trump have that in common for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, they should have lowered the microphone though. I couldn't see her face because it was kind of like a little bit too high up there. But for her to say that she's Donald Trump's #1 fan, it was very heartwarming. And I know President Trump's, he's still being attacked every day. 93% of the media coverage is negative, ABC, NBC, CBS. And I think he needs all the help in the world at this point. And I think Nicki Minaj really tremendously gave him a huge support because he was losing a lot of approval rating among the youth because the recent poll numbers wasn't looking good. But I think Nicki Minaj would probably help him.
She's badass, honestly, for doing that, like for coming out, being overt about that, like that's badass. Like hopefully she reposts this tonight, but
Yeah.
Nicki, if you're listening tonight, like if you're one of your staffers is listening tonight, please repost.
Yeah. That'll be awesome.
It's badass that she's not afraid. She's overt in her support, and she's willing to do what she believes in, and so that's admirable, regardless of what her beliefs are. Like it's not the lucrative thing to do. It's the right thing to do, and that's what she believes. So good for her.
Yeah, very
I'm
brave.
curious what people are with the whole Trump accounts thing. Like, I'm curious what people are hating on about it. What what could be bad about it? I haven't really seen what people are saying, but I know there's going to be criticisms because it's something Trump is doing. So, but it sounds like a really positive thing. So I'm curious.
Well, a lot of people are wishing that Social Security was run in the same way. Like if they could have an account where you build it on your own or whatever, versus Social Security where you get like at best like a $2,000 a month check. You can't even rent an apartment with $2,000 a month. Like that's insane. So why, could you imagine if you invested in the same way in like a 401k or something like that, you'd have a lot of money or whatever. You'd be able to buy your own house by the time you're retired. And so they're saying, why are we putting money into this system that isn't going to benefit us? And then you only get to use it for a few years before you die. And it's just like,
you're right.
why did I pay my whole life into this system that's going to screw me over? It's a better way of doing things. And so that's good for our kids. My kids are already grown. They'll never benefit from that, but my grandkids maybe. So that's awesome, and I look forward to it. Hopefully it does benefit them.
Yeah, Jay, you talked a very important point. A lot of my friends, I have older friends, and they passed away before, when they were about to get their Social Security. So I think it's better to get those early. And I think Trump account, it's a great idea. Yeah. I think it's a beautiful idea, and I don't understand people criticizing Nicki Minaj about that. And I think actually she might have added a lot of fans more. A lot of conservatives would support her because I'm already interested in her music.
Yeah, I think it just knowing her beliefs and knowing the kind of person she is, it's so aligned with everything she preaches. Like that's honestly, I took a long time to get through college because I worked my way through college and I had to stop a couple of times to, because I was working too much. I eventually got my degree. It took me like 6 years to get my degree on and off. But the thing that was playing in my head over and over was like, Nicki says go to school, Nicki says get your degree, like get your education. And my dad said it too, but like who's gonna listen to dad? But
so she has that special connection with her fans, like a different kind of level, right?
And
not just the surface music. She has like a culture you follow. It's pretty much like a Swiftie thing. I don't know. Am I?
Yeah, it is.
Right?
Yeah, the Barbs are a lot like Swifties. And yeah, I think and it's like I was saying, it's so aligned with those things that she preaches. Like this is literally going to help kids be able to go to college. I think about my kids, obviously, like in the future, they're going to have that. I think about what I would have done if I were in a position where that was done for me when I was born, and had that to be able to go to school. It would have changed a lot of things for me. And so I love the message behind it too, knowing that that's coming from such like a genuine place from her part. Is she wants people to be successful, she wants people to be educated, and like in whatever way that looks like for you, she's helping to support the next generation to be able to do that. And I think that's admirable.
Yeah, that's great. Good for her. I mean, yeah, I admire what she's doing.
Yeah, and I love hearing like about your experience, Hannah, and how it like personally kind of touches you and you can actually apply like, what to your life and how it would have helped you. That's really cool.
Yeah, I think it just like it speaks to how much influence she has and like how, seeing this is so exciting for me, but really it makes me excited for all the new people who are going to be looking into politics and researching the things that she believes. And like, even if they're only researching things that Nicki has said about it, like that's a great place to start. Like I'm so politically involved, but I think that there's a lot of her fans who maybe aren't yet, and now will have the opportunity to become that way. And they ride for her just like I do. Like she has influenced their life enough that if she's standing up for something, people are willing to check it out and say, okay, I trust her and I trust the things that she has to say. So maybe there's some credence to, this thing that she's supporting. And I don't think that there's any negative that can come from people even just researching Trump accounts. Like you said, Angela, like what's the bad from it? If they're going to, people who don't know anything, who are starting from zero, are going to look up Trump accounts. Like I really do have a hard time believing you're going to come away with a negative opinion of it.
You're right. It's just.
Yeah, absolutely. We were also talking before the stream about some of the backlash and different artists removing their collabs with Nicki on Spotify. The latest one, I guess, being Avril Lavigne. She was unfollowed by Billie Eilish, Ariana Grande. You said on Instagram, right, Hannah? Mm-hmm. We were just saying that's interesting and begging and kind of posing the question, if the roles were reversed, do people like Nicki or people who are conservative or Republicans, whatever, unfollow and cancel liberals for the same kind of thing, endorsements and stuff?
I think conservatives, we always welcome people, right? We want to persuade them and welcome them. And we're happy. A lot of conservatives used to, I think, bash Nicki Minaj, right? I think Charlie Kirk also said that that she's kind of like a negative role model or something back in the day, but I think conservatives always kind of welcome it. They're happy when entertainers join their cause, but I guess the feeling is not mutual. I think I just don't like it when people say, oh, I'm not going. I mean, there was another guy. I forgot his name. But he said that if you ever support Trump or support ICE, don't even watch my movies. I don't want you to even come.
John Leguizamo.
Oh,
yeah,
John
yeah,
Leguizamo.
Yeah,
John Leguizamo. Yeah.
In the past day, he said something about that or whatever.
Yeah.
Like follow him, don't.
And you see like Chris Evans say that, and Natalie Portman, and Mark Ruffalo saying. I mean, it's very harsh words. even the followers, they bash the followers, like San Antonio Spurs head coach, former head coach Greg Popovich, and Golden State Warriors head coach Steve Kerr. You don't hear that from the conservative side. So I feel like conservatives are more gentlemen. They have more manner. I'm talking about like basic manners. And I think the left, they don't. I think it's like they're spoiled brats. In all honesty, I think they're acting like spoiled brats.
And it's just the intolerance of not being able to hear anything that is outside of your worldview. Like in personal, I'm sure we've all lost friends because of our political views. And like, that's something that for me is so foreign. I would never not be friends with somebody because of their political views, but leftists will not shop at a business because they support Trump or not support an artist entirely because they support Trump. It's like I don't agree with Taylor Swift's politics, but I still like her music and I'll still support. I can separate like the person from the art. And I think that they're just not able to do that. It's all lumped.
For me, it's like, like there's hardly any like movies and stuff like that aren't like the good ones are all with like these really liberal people, like some of my favorites, like Goodfellas and stuff like they have De Niro and Pacino, like really liberal people. But the thing is they're fantastic films. Like they're really good. The place where I draw the line is like on Netflix, where they had like Cuties and stuff like that. I will not, I don't have Netflix because of that stuff. I think that's really disgusting what they're doing. But the thing is like, like I like Pink Floyd, you know what I mean? Like, but they're hardcore leftists. But the thing is like, am I just not going to have music in my life? There's no way. Like they literally like, most of them are hippies or whatever.
Music is canceled. TV and movies are canceled.
I'm just going to be honest with you. I'm just going to listen to them. Like, honestly, like I like what they have to say. Like I like their songs and stuff like that, and that's the other thing too, is like, I like thinking about my kids and stuff like that. Like I would never want to deny them, these great movies, these great, like watch them, like they're great or whatever. Like I try not to support anything that's like truly evil, like they said, like the Cuties thing or whatever. But like, they're liberal or whatever. Like if it's a great movie, like I'm gonna watch it. Like I'm still gonna watch Star Wars. Like honestly, I love them.
Mark Hamill.
That was going to be my crazy.
Star Wars is just so badass. Like I'm just not going to not watch it. Like honestly,
I mean, at least George Lucas didn't say anything that overtly political. So I think that, but it is they are making it tougher. I find myself watch the prequels more than the original because of I see Mark how he hates conservatives, and Harrison Ford seems to also hate conservatives, and I think it's. Probably the left thinks that it's their world. They own Hollywood. They own big tech. They own pretty much the entire system, except for the White House and and probably they think that we're intruding them. I think that's the mentality. That's why they have this canceling out. We want to kick you out of our world. It seems like that's
even them saying like, don't watch my movies if you vote that way. It's like conservatives would never make that decision. Like, oh, he doesn't like that, so I'm not going to watch his movies. But the fact that they're saying that, it's like you make money. Like our money is just the same as a liberal's money. Like it spends the same.
Wasn't it Michael Jordan that said that like Republicans buy sneakers too or whatever? Like I don't. That may be like a fake internet quote or whatever. But like,
no, that's real. That's real. He did say that.
Yeah, like he said, Republicans buy sneakers too. Like so, like it's money is money. Like they shouldn't focus so much on it. Honestly, it's better a financial decision on their part. But they do.
Yeah, that's why I like Michael Jordan much better than LeBron James, and Michael Jordan's a much better player. Probably because he's focusing more on his skill set rather than politics.
It's not even close. Like it's Michael Jordan was way better, and to be honest with you, Kobe Bryant's probably number 2.
I would say so.
I think that they think so highly of themselves and their opinion. It's like, who says we even want Mark Hamill's opinion on politics? Like you're great in Star Wars, but I don't really care what you have to say about politics. Like it's kind of like weird, and it's become this new thing. Like everybody has to speak out about politics, and like Billie Eilish, we've talked about her before on here about how she's super anti-capitalist, but she does collabs with all these brands where she's obviously making money. And like she just had another thing the other day where she posted like 3 or 4 anti-ICE posts on Instagram, and then posted some selfie that was like, are any of my other fellow celebrities going to speak out against ICE, or is it just me? It's like, nobody cares. Like, sing your songs. Like, nobody really cares what you think.
That sounds like her still making it about herself, right?
Exactly.
Like, if you actually care about the issue, why are you making this about yourself?
Like, oh, I'm the only one who's calling it out. I'm the good, like, it's not, you don't actually feel
yourself.
Yes, exactly.
yourself that this is about you and attention for you. Cool.
Do you think the agents are telling them to do that? Because, financially, it's not a good, smart thing, right?
Absolutely not. And I have experience in the TV and film world, and agents do not want you to be political.
So it's them. So it's actually them just going out there,
I think so.
Because I think it's definitely trendy too for Gen Z to be anti-capitalist and anti-Trump. That's very
but
cool.
Trump still got 47% of the youth vote, in 2024. He got between 18 to 30 demographic. He got 47%. I do think that he has been losing ground, but I thought the youth was kind of changing.
I think it's a lot. I agree. I think it's a lot like we saw with Charlie and like the college conservatives and stuff. I definitely think that it's growing, but I think that online community that Billie Eilish probably sells records to and kind of panders to online, that's like, it's very popular to be leftist. It's just like that kind of like TikTok online community. Like, that's what's cool, because that's what, other people get censored, so that's all they hear.
We were talking recently about awards, and because Hollywood is very left, right? So it's also even the recognition, the nominations, like the whole award. And how people on the right get snubbed potentially. And we've been having those conversations a lot lately. But I just heard something too today, I think, that Ariana Grande is like trying to have people not go to work, like don't go to work on January 30th to sort of protest ICE, right? So it's like,
I did hear that.
You don't need that, like, don't show up at your job. You don't need your job. You don't need your day. But like, it's another tone deaf kind of thing where while you just have your billions or whatever, but tell us not to go to work.
Yeah, like, and they're gonna, potentially get fired in this job that they need to make ends meet, and she's out here lecturing on them from her mansion. You know what I mean? Like they need to stay. Like, absolutely ridiculous. Like,
what does she mean? What does she mean by not working? I don't know what she means. I didn't.
People are closing down businesses or going, like, not shopping, not going to work, essentially like not involving themselves in the economy.
Like a walkout kind of thing to go against ICE or something, against Trump. Okay.
To show how they can impact the economy.
Is it ICE? Is it about I think it's about ICE. To
show that they can have an impact on the economy, that they have a voice or whatever. But like, she's not gonna not get paid that day. I promise you. Like,
she can afford to take a day off also.
Right.
I think they're taking orders. Did you hear that recent report about a billionaire who's in China, Shanghai, China? I think his name was Neville Roy Singham. He's the next George Soros, and it seems like he poured in billions to organize all these protesting. Especially in Minnesota too. So he's somebody that we should pay attention to. He's a new George Soros. Before, whenever there's these far left riots happening, the guy behind it, people would accuse George Soros about it. But now it's this new guy, a billionaire. He pretty much is a Marxist, and he's very pro CCP, even though he's an American businessman billionaire. And I do think there's some connection to it. I heard that he gives a lot of money to left-wing causes, and I think probably entertainers are also involved in it too. So I always feel that it's fabricated.
I could be wrong, but I think he also he was like a big donor for the ballot boxes too, like that push or whatever. Like I could be wrong.
I think he was. Yeah.
Part of that too. But like, the thing is like, they're doing this from their mansions, right? They're sending these people out there, and these people are really putting themselves in harm's way. Like, they're getting pepper sprayed, they're getting You know, we've had 2 people that have been shot.
Killed.
Like, it's killed. Like, it's crazy that, you know, and then they're just sitting back watching it all.
You're
You know,
right.
it's just really disgusting.
Yeah.
The things that they're doing. You know, it's a different thing or whatever if they were just like holding signs out there or whatever and like protesting or whatever, but like they're not. They're getting they're tracking the ICE agents down. They're like trying to disrupt or whatever, and they're like people are gonna get hurt. Like, and the thing is like it's frigid out, right? Imagine what this looks like when it's 80 degrees out. I'm telling you, it's gonna get a lot worse, and people are gonna get hurt. And ICE agents, I hope, God forbid, you know, ICE agents probably gonna get hurt. Like, it's just, I don't get why we can't go after the people that are pouring money into this, because it's really nefarious stuff that they've got going on. It's not organic. It's not like people are just, you know, going out to protest their neighbor getting taken away or whatever. Like, these people are being paid. They're bringing people in from out of state. Like, it's not organic at all. It's all paid. And it's
because normal people aren't able to do that. They have jobs during the day.
Right,
like,
exactly.
I always thought that, like, during the Portland, like COVID 2020 in Portland and stuff, like, who are these people who are doing, like, sitting here all day long? Do you not have a job? Do you not have a family to take care of? Like, that's, to me, is enough to be like, okay, yeah, this must be organized. This must be, like, funded somehow, because there's not this many people who can be out on a Tuesday afternoon causing this much trouble.
And where's the outrage for, like, Laken Riley or Kate Steinle, who were murdered by illegal immigrants, you know, violent illegal immigrants, like from Venezuela? And there's no outrage. You know, there should be equal outrage if they really want to get angry about people losing their lives. And I don't see it from the other side. And I guess because all the conservatives are busy working at that time, I guess, you know.
It's like after Charlie died, nobody protested. I personally myself went to a vigil. I think the vigil I went to was one of the very first ones, and then I saw them happen all over the country. And it was like they were happening in the evenings when people were done working, or like on the weekends, and people were showing up and praying together and supporting each other, and like it was beautiful. And then something happens on the opposite side and people are violent and, you know, tracking down ICE agents and trying to, you know, physically assault them. It's like the difference is so stark, and we saw it like when Charlie died. Like, people met up to pray and support each other, not
and they make themselves look worse too when they portray the pretty guy or whatever. Like, they portray him as like this, you know, this person or whatever, and then new videos come out where he's like kicking ICE agent cars and he's spitting at it. Like, let's just be honest about who people are. You know, we don't have to, like, you know, I didn't want the guy to get shot. I don't want the ICE agent to have to shoot. Like, I don't want any of that to happen or whatever. But like, don't be dishonest about who the person is. Like, don't show, you know, like how they show like the middle school picture of somebody or whatever, and then it turns out like they're a gang member and they have tattoos. Like, don't, just be honest. Like, it looks way worse when you try and spin things or whatever and make it look like something that it's not. It makes it look ridiculous. Then when we see the videos that come out or whatever, just be honest about who he is. If he's a protester, like paid protester, whatever, like, I still didn't want him to get shot. I still don't want the ICE agent to have to shoot him. Like, I don't want any of that to happen for the ICE agent and also for the guy, you know what I mean? Like, but just be honest about what's going on or whatever. Like, I don't like how everything you just wait 2 days or whatever, and then the real story comes out. Like, they portray him like, and they doctored his photos and everything. Like,
they doctored his photo. You're right.
It's just like, it's so ridiculous. Like, it's just, we're not 12 years old. Like, just give us the truth. We can handle the truth. It's much better that way, and it doesn't make you look bad. It doesn't make it, like, if you were just more honest about who he is or whatever, like, people wouldn't get so outraged about things.
And I think politicians are really promoting it. Like Barack Obama, I'm very disappointed that he wanted people to you know, keep on fighting. And you have the California governor, like Gavin Newsom, he wanted to have a bill passed through where ICE has to reveal their faces, because he wants people to, you know, even track them down to their house and attack them, and this is crazy. I think that they are really, I think the left is gone in a certain, I don't think they're ever gonna change. Their tactics are not gonna change. It never changed. Even during the George Floyd thing, they just had so much property damage, and a lot of police died because of their riots. And I just think that this just became a new norm, and which is tragic.
The thing is like George Floyd was not this like they tried to paint him as this great person or whatever, but he's like this drug addict, and like he's got this history of violent crime and stuff like that. But the thing is like, even though he dies or whatever, like that's kind of a sad thing. Like this dude is strung out on drugs or whatever, and like even from the right, but then they portray him as this person, this like saint or whatever, like this community like leader or whatever, and it's all bullshit. Like it's just completely bullshit. Like he's strung out on fentanyl, like he's history of violent crime or whatever. Just be honest about who he is, and people won't get so outraged about it. That's honest journalism. One of the cool things is like with Nick Shirley. Nick Shirley went and he exposed this thing, and which is crazy that the FBI wasn't already tracking it. Like he went there and exposed this thing, and it's not a left or a right thing. It's really not. It's really about money. It really has nothing to do with, but it became this left or right thing. But it's really cool what he went there and did, and showed what an average person can go and do with the power of social media or whatever, and exposing all this corruption and stuff like that. It's really honest. Like that's honest journalism right there. I wish we had more honest journalists that would go out there and expose these things and just show it, because all it takes is somebody who's motivated and who understands what's going on, and you can really get to the truth of it, because he didn't spin it. He showed exactly what was happening, and it was really cool to watch him do that, because especially because he's a young kid or whatever, but like it was really awesome what he did for the country.
It goes to show how evil the media is, because they were hesitant to report about what Nick Shirley exposed, but they are all gung-ho about these ICE situations. They wanted to change the narrative, and I think they kind of did for at least the left-wing side.
Yeah, it just feels so manufactured, because it's like, like you mentioned, Michael, where was the outrage for Lake and Riley? Where was the outrage for Irina? God, I can't remember her last name, but the Ukrainian woman who was stabbed on the train. Like, where was the outrage for them? And why are we being forced to believe that these George Floyds and these Alex Pretties are perfect victims, when that's clearly not, when there have been victims that are proven much more innocent and much less deserving of what happened to them? Not that he deserved it, but like, he was not a perfect victim. Like and it feels so fake to have that narrative pushed so hard, and then Jay, like you said, just to have it fall apart when the video comes out. It's like, why? It's not organic. We're meant to believe this about this person when it's not true.
Yeah. The crazy part about the Irina, and Zritska is her last name, but like the crazy part about that was like, she would have been the left's darling, right? Maybe she's a Ukrainian immigrant or whatever, like she came over or whatever, like she would have been the left's darling until she got stabbed to death, right? Then now they're just like, well, I don't know, like they just completely like just look the other way, and it's like, it's so wild that how bought into the narrative, like how programmed they've become on these things. Like you just can't even be sympathetic to this woman who got stabbed to death, who was sitting on a bus. Like what? That's crazy. Like it's
but everyone's posting Alex Pretty on their Instagram story. Like
yeah, I think it really goes back to like the whole theme of the night is like truth telling, right? So Michael, you said truth telling, and it really is. It's about like, let's be honest, let's be transparent, let's expose what's really going on here, cut through the BS. So I feel like, and like you said, Jay, it's not a left or a right issue. I would hope that that's what we would all want, is the truth and keeping things real.
Yeah, like the videos on like the subway and stuff like that, and the women getting like lit on fire, like just
Oh man.
horrendous. Like I don't like literally like, and I've been in combat like I spent 5 years in combat, but like that shit disturbs me. Like seeing that stuff, like that's crazy. Like that we can't come together and say this is wrong. Like this is not a left or right issue. This is like we can't have this in our society.
Yeah, I was in New York City still when that happened, and it was traumatic. I obviously wasn't present when it happened, but it really, I could feel the impact on people. I was taking the subway every day to and from work at that time. And it was so eerie in the subway. You could tell everyone was on edge. People were talking about it. It was extremely impactful, just truly terrifying and traumatic, that happening. Yeah. So and a big reason why I left the city. So a big reason was that, and many similar incidents that are very real. And I hate when people, again, to speaking to the truth, try to spin the subway and spin these things into like, it's fine. Like the city's fine. It's not fine.
It's not fine.
That's why I left.
Where did you move to? Where did you move to? State?
Florida.
Oh, Florida.
Yeah.
Florida.
And now a gun owner, right?
Because of that incident.
I'm like kind of scared. Oh my God, you're exposing me, but I guess I exposed myself. But I did I got my first firearm yesterday, actually.
Woohoo.
It's beautiful. But yeah, so my friend who is a detective here in Florida is gonna help teach me and all the stuff. But yes, I do have one.
That's awesome. We need to do a bold lib range day. Like, go down and shoot guns. Like, yeah, let's do it. We'll go live.
It seems like New York has been going down for quite a while, you know, since not just Eric Adams or Mamdani, but even prior to that, with Blasio and Andrew Cuomo doing all sorts of crazy policies, especially during COVID, you know.
Right.
I think, I would read a lot of reports that people are moving out in droves.
Yeah.
Even in California, it's happening in California. A lot of people have left here too.
I don't like how, you know, it's such, I've never actually even been to New York City. I've only flown by there when I was in the military, and I've seen the Statue of Liberty flying by it. But, you know, I don't like, you know, it's New York is such an iconic city or whatever. Like, I don't like how people just are like, oh, it's, you know, it's a foregone conclusion or whatever. It's New York City's gone. I don't like how, you know, we just give up on the largest city in America. Like I want to like my instinct is like, we need to like fix that. Like we need to get a Rudy Giuliani in there. Like we need a clean house, because it's what a lot of the rest of the world knows America as. They know, like they don't know what, you know, what's going on in Georgia and Florida and stuff like that, but I damn sure they know what New York City is. They knew the Statue of Liberty. Like they know, like I just don't like how we kind of give up on that. I wish we could kind of pull it together for such an iconic place. Same with California. California is a beautiful state, just absolutely gorgeous there, and I just hate how we just kind of give up on it or whatever. Like, you know, which is why I support the voter ID thing. I really I think we could like change a lot of, and it's not about like the right becoming dominant or whatever. I think with the voter ID, you get more honest politicians. I think you can get some of the more middle of the road Democrats in there when you have this voter ID versus the rigged stuff that they have going on out in California or whatever. Like, it's not even fair to somebody, you know, a grassroots person. It's not fair to them because it's just completely, there is no control. Like, it's illegal to ask for ID. Like, it's absolutely insane.
Yeah. I think the deep state likes to happen. They like this chaos, I think, you know, when they had George Gascon as LA County DA, he wasn't arresting people, and, you know, because you could steal things up to $950 and not get charged. So, you know, it was really, I think I really thought, oh, they want this to happen. Somebody's, you know, really, they're like
Soros
some kind of
wanted
psycho
it.
sadist. Yeah, like Soros. I think like Alex Soros. I really think they secretly like it when they see these, you know, people just, you know, these like beautiful cities, these beautiful metropolitan cities like New York, LA. They want it burned to the ground, I think. I mean, that's the only way how I can decipher this whole nonsense.
No, it's they're evil. Honestly, the people, those big funders or whatever, they're evil people, and that's the thing. Is like, you know, regular, like we I don't like. I want that to be a tourist destination. I want to go there and visit myself. Like I want people to come from other countries to visit it. Like I want them to, you know, be able to enjoy the city, to see, you know, whatever, Empire State Building, like Statue of Liberty. Like I want them to be able to come enjoy that and spend money there and see the city and walk around. Like it just, it's really, it sucks that we have to deal with this shit that's being pushed on us.
Yeah, no,
I've
New York
watched
is
it.
an incredible city.
I've watched Portland. I mean, I watched it happen to Portland.
Yeah.
I was born and raised outside of Portland and loved going into the city, like when I was younger and in high school, and even when I turned 21. It was like safe and you could go with your girlfriends, and I would always see my dad's cop buddies everywhere, and you know, I felt safe there. And now I avoid it at all costs. I don't feel safe. The last time I went was for a concert and didn't see a single cop. It looked like zombie land. Like everyone on the streets was strung out, and it's a scary place now, and the city is completely ruined. And it's so sad because I truly believe Portland is so unique and such a beautiful city. You know, being from here, it was close to my heart, and it's fallen apart. It's not the same place anymore, and it's really sad to see happen.
I think they're more left wing than LA. That's what I heard. Portland.
Oh yeah, for
as
sure.
left wing as LA is, Portland is more left. And
Seattle.
And I'm really sick and tired of these Democratic policies. In all honesty, I think they're really ruining the cities. If you look at LA County homeless count is like 40,000. I think it's just insane. You know, you see homeless people. It's got much better. You know, somehow ever since Trump came into the office, the place around where I live, I mean, they really took care. But I think it depends on the council members. But I mean, I just think that's how I see it. They like somehow, you know, in a their twisted, sick mind, somebody really like is enjoying this.
Yeah, Seattle for sure. Like if you park out on the street, your car is gonna get broken into eventually. Like
San Fran too. I heard that every single friend of mine who went to San Fran, they had their cars broken.
Yeah. I used to live in Washington, and it's really bad there. Which is it's crazy because it's such a beautiful city right there on Puget Sound with the mountains, and you can see Rainier and everything. Like really cool place or whatever, and it's just destroyed by these leftist policies. Really, that's really, and you can't even like I had toddlers when I lived there or whatever, and you know, because they legalize weed there or whatever. Like you couldn't even like bring your kids around there because they're like people smoking weed everywhere. Like it's just completely out of control. Like it's just
that's Portland, but with every drug now. People shoot up fentanyl. You can do heroin in the street. You can do meth. It's all decriminalized. So it's so sad just walking through downtown Portland, the amount of people who are just addicted to drugs, just addicts that are dying in the streets and being given free needles through the what's the programs, you know, that don't actually help people get off drugs. They just help them use drugs.
They give like new needles and stuff, right? That's what I heard. New needles.
Yep, and pipes and everything, and they litter the streets now. And people, I mean, they've completely taken over the streets. Just everybody out of their mind on drugs because the cops can't do anything about it.
And I think President Trump saw all of this nonsense. That's why he was trying to block, you know, Venezuela, all these drugs, you know, pouring in over here. It's just crazy. Did Oregon? I mean, did they really try to legalize heroin there in Oregon?
No, it's decriminalized.
Oh, decriminalized. Okay.
Yep. So all drugs are decriminalized. Cocaine, heroin, meth, fentanyl, it's all decriminalized.
Which sounds like they're not gonna enforce any law, you know, just because you
you don't go to jail for it, you don't get arrested for it, you can have it, you can smoke it. Like yeah, it's not an offense.
What a weird fucking state. Like, you can't even pump your own gas, but you can shoot up heroin in Oregon. Like, it's crazy there. Like, just such a backward state. You cannot pump your gas.
You can't pump your own gas there?
Why not? We can now. They changed it this year.
Really?
But yeah.
Okay.
So you had somebody else coming over?
Yeah, you had to have the attendant come pump your gas.
Oh, that's like South Korea. South Korea is like that, by the way.
Yeah, I never understood why. I mean, I think it's good. Like, it was for me, that's just what I grew up with. So I never knew that it wasn't like that in other states. Like, I moved to California after high school. And the first few times I went to go get gas, I like sat in my car for a second, waiting for the person to come do my gas. But I mean,
how come nobody's coming?
Yeah, and it's funny. Like, now you can hop out and do it, but they still have people who work there. I think it's good. Like, it creates jobs, and it's cold here in Oregon and it rains. We don't want to get out of our cars and pump our own gas.
Fair enough. Well, while we're on this topic, I want to talk about this, but I also want to say thanks to Cielo, who said, I really enjoyed this. You guys are all so wonderful. Big shout out to Matt, who reposted the stream and said, Angela, you're awesome. But no, I wanted to say Mamdani also wants to decriminalize a lot of things in New York City that has me very concerned. We already know that he's like defund the police, and my background, Michael, you probably don't know, is in mental health. I studied mental health counseling, and obviously we need a lot of better resources when it comes to mental health, for sure. Big advocate of that. But rather than sending police into some of these dangerous situations with mentally ill people in the subway, et cetera, he's talking about sending mental health professionals like myself. I'm like, if there was a team, okay, that makes sense, right? Like a team that has different specialties and trainings, okay. But I don't feel comfortable going and trying to de-escalate with someone who's, high or at that level. So that kind of stuff scares me. Wanting to decriminalize things like assault, which like we're already having so many issues with in New York City. So a lot of concerns. But anyways, this is the latest that Mamdani has to say about the fiscal situation in New York City.
Speaking about a fiscal crisis at the scale greater than the Great Recession. And so there will not be one single thing that can answer that crisis. It will require us to pursue every single avenue. That means looking inward into savings and efficiencies. That also means raising taxes on the wealthiest New Yorkers and the most profitable corporations.
So I'm sure you all know that he's been big on raising taxes and tax hikes for the richest people in New York City and corporations. But yeah, so he publicly announced that New York City is facing a serious fiscal crisis, a massive budget gap of roughly $12 billion across the next 2 fiscal years, called it greater than what we saw during the Great Recession, and that it's going to require raising taxes on the richest New Yorkers and profitable corporations. What is also funny, though, is what Eric Adams had to say back. Oh no, it's gone. Oh no, hold on. Hold that thought.
Okay. The tweet, right?
Yeah, the tweet.
I saw it a little bit.
It cracked me up.
In case anyone was wondering, this was the real motive behind today's press conference. Mayor Mamdani, who also has a lot of nicknames, that just like Gavin Newsom, promised a laundry list of free giveaways to buy votes with no plan to pay for them. Now that the math doesn't work, I like to say the math ain't mathin'. Instead of owning the fact that he misled New Yorkers, he's blaming me. Let's be clear. I left him over $8 billion in reserves. This is the same Mamdani who spent years attacking me for not spending enough during the migrant crisis. The only reason those reserves exist is because I ignored him and his socialist comrades who demanded we blow billions more with no guardrails. Free isn't free. It's just a bill someone else has to pay. I mean, Adam's getting sassy. We were showing that video, was it last week, where he whatever, had the whole thing in the airport. But anyways, this has been my question all along about, like, everything sounds great, right? People love to hear free stuff. Reminds me of the school people running for class president. It's like pizza every day and, you know, like all these promises, but the money's got to come from. So the guy who was like, you know, I don't need your now he needs your money.
Yeah.
That's the crux of socialism, is like, yeah, it sounds great. Like this, in a perfect world with endless money and funding, like, sure, why not have free healthcare for everybody and free daycare and, you know, all like, that's all great. But like, someone has to pay for it. It has to come from somewhere. And if you're going to start taxing the wealthiest New Yorkers, they're not going to be New Yorkers anymore. They're going to go somewhere else. Like, it's that's a terrible plan. And it's that whole like infantile attitude of, I deserve this because I'm me and I want it for free, with no regard for like where that's going to come from. It's like, everybody does. We'd all love that, but that's not reality. Like, join us here in the real world where things have to be paid for.
Yeah. I mean, all rich Democrats, I think, are secretly Republicans. They don't want to pay, higher tax. And Mamdani, he doesn't want any billionaires in New York City. So he's kicking out all the revenue. And where are you going to get all the revenue in order to give? What was his election pledge? Free buses, free daycare, everything free, right? So you need money to do that. But somehow I think he thinks he's a Fed, that he can print all this money, I guess. It just doesn't make sense. And I think he was a good talker. I will say that one of the reasons why I think he did get elected was, I think during the debate, he kind of said the right answer. You know, when this Israel issue was propping up regarding the what was it? October 7th, controversy. I mean, the war. And when all the other candidates said they would go Israel, and he said that he wouldn't go Israel and he would just stick here in New York and take care of New York City, and I think he's good at these verbiage, talking points, I guess, for the far left, but it's not going to work. We already knew. I'm just going to sit and watch, eating popcorn, and see how he decimates the city of New York, where we all love.
Well, my biggest, I'm really like, I'm more mad at the Republican Party that we didn't try and run a viable candidate. Like Curtis Sliwa, like, whatever, he may be doing good things or whatever, but like, he's never gonna win New York City. He's kind of kooky. He's got the beret or whatever. Like he's super, like, he's anti-Trump. Like he's not gonna get the victory. But the thing is like, we could have run somebody who was more, maybe a celebrity that lives in New York City, maybe somebody like more middle of the road, not hardcore right or left, kind of like what I say about New York or California. Like, we need to run Nicole Shanahan. Like, Nicole Shanahan can legitimately win California. We're not going to get some hardcore MAGA candidate to win that state. You need somebody kind of more that appeals to both sides, somebody with some common sense or whatever, that you can get some real things done with, but you're not going to get this hardcore conservative in there. Same thing with New York City, right? It's a lot of liberals there, and so you need to run a softer candidate, but somebody who has some common sense, that recognizes that you can't just make everything free. That doesn't work, and not allow this ultra leftist idiot to win. He's really just dumb.
You're right. He is. Yeah. And I heard that a lot of New York rich people, they have been moving out to the suburb area, right outside of New York, so they don't have to pay the taxes.
That sounds about right. Yeah, they would definitely figure out what to do to get out.
I mean, if I have money, I'll get out of New York City and live in the suburbs, and and take advantage of all the stuff in New York, and not live there and pay the high taxes.
Yep, people have been saying this was going to happen. Like, this is what, these were my questions when it was like, yeah, okay, like, why are you voting? Well, don't you want free stuff? Don't you want this free? Like, this all sounds great, but like, okay, but how is this going to happen? And
And when was when was the free stuff really free?
Right.
It never
Exactly.
happened.
Yeah. Well, I want the best for New York City. So, but I definitely have had concerns, and I'm happy that I'm not there right now.
How long did you live there?
For 12 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So you are a New Yorker. Wow.
And I was there throughout the pandemic, through COVID, in a tiny 1-bedroom apartment. Like, I did the whole thing. So yeah, 2013 until 2025. So
it is a beautiful city, though. I went there years ago, and it was real. It's a cultural city, and I mean, LA can't compare, or even Seoul city, you know, in South Korea, the capital of South Korea. It doesn't compare to New York. It is a great city, but we might probably say once a great city. You know, it was.
I
once
hope
a great
not, but yeah, no, it is. And I wouldn't change a thing. I had an amazing experience there. I grew so much as a person, had so many experiences that I never would have had if I didn't live there.
Mhm.
That city has such an energy about it.
Yeah.
It really is like nowhere I've ever been. So yeah, I hope it doesn't lose that, but
yeah. But I think that will happen after Mamdani, though. I'm not, you know, putting a lot of hope there.
Yeah, well, it's already coming out pretty quickly. All the it's kind of crumbling, or so it seems like, you know, all the promises and dreams. But I appreciate you guys so much. This has been incredible. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have. Michael, it was so lovely to have you and get to know you. Thank you so much for being here. Tell the people where they can find, well, I mean, I see your, everybody please follow him. And Michael, what else would you like to shout out where people can support you?
So I started this. So my Twitter account got hacked continuously. You know, I got attacked by the left wing, I think. So this is my like third account. And I have a YouTube channel. It's a Korean language based channel, but I do English shows there as well, and put the translated caption, which I did with Jay. And the YouTube channel is called Michael Wan's Truth Politics. In Korean, it's called 원용석의 진실 정치. So that's where you guys can find anybody who can speak.
You guys got that right. You got it. Yeah.
Can join to my show.
Awesome. Yeah. Will do. Thank you so much, Michael. I hope that we can interact again and stay in touch.
I had a blast. Thank you very much.
Oh my gosh, thank you. Hannah, what's up with you? Everybody follow Hannah. Hannah, you got any news? How's the new job going?
The job is great. Loving the new job. Yep. Follow me on X, follow me on IG, and I will be here on Thursdays with Angela. It is my honor and pleasure to be a regular guest. So I will see y'all next week.
No, you won't next week. I'm sorry. I forgot to give you a heads up. I'm going on vacation next week.
Oh, good for you. Congratulations. Where are you going?
I don't want to say.
Okay, fair. Sorry. I'll text you.
I'll text you where I go. I'm not putting it out there just because.
I thought Hannah was a different person from the photo. Well, you know, I thought it was a completely different, you know.
Her profile picture is dope. Like that's
her profile photo.
I'm upset she got it removed. Like
it's almost like the polar opposite. You purposely put your polar opposite side on
right. That's my real personality. That's who I am on Twitter.
Okay.
I love it. No, we love it. I mean, we love you in all forms, Hannah. You're the best. But yeah, so sorry. I was going to let you know. I forgot before the show, but yeah,
no worries.
I'm going to be gone next week. So, yes, in 2 weeks for sure. Hannah will be back guesting, and Jay's always doing spaces, shows, all that jazz. Jay, anything you want to shout out? Everybody follow him.
No, just follow me on X, follow me on TikTok, follow me on YouTube, Rumble. I'm on all of them. I just appreciate you allowing me to bring my friends in here to your show and stuff. And I appreciate doing your show. It's one of the funnest things that I do all week. So thank you for having me here.
Oh, that's so nice. I have so much fun with you guys, and I appreciate you so much. I couldn't do it without you. And Jay, I appreciate you bringing such amazing people on for these discussions. So it's been awesome. I love you guys so much. You rock. Thank you. I will, I'll see you. Yeah, I won't see you next week, but I'll see you soon.
Yes, have so much fun.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I'll maybe be doing some other form of content while I'm on my trip. So like other kinds of fun content, right? Like, because this is all fun, but like, vacation fun content. So
there you go.
Enjoy your trip.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for your time. Thank you for being here. Have a great rest of your night and next week. We'll see you soon. Good night, guys. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Audience, thank you so much for tuning in. You guys rock. I appreciate you. Thank you for all of the chat, the comments. We couldn't do it without you either. So yeah, I appreciate the support. I just, again, I appreciate you all being part of the conversations, for tuning in, for spending some of your evening with us, or whenever you're watching this, if you're watching it back. Thank you for supporting me. And I can't tell you how much the, kind words and support mean to me. There's enough sort of negativity and divisiveness out there and hate. And so I really enjoy this time with all of you and coming together and bringing positivity and joy and just, trying to get to a better place and understand each other better and listen to each other and in a respectful way and treat each other with kindness and being good humans. And so we will continue to do our open dialogue and conversations. And I hope you will continue to tune in and support and be a part of the boldness, dare I say. If you have not already, please follow me on all the platforms at Angela Belcamino and subscribe on YouTube. That would be amazing. Also, in exciting news, episodes of the podcast will be returning soon once I'm back from vacation. So again, there will be no streams or podcast episodes next week, but I'll return the week after. We have Bold Voices on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Time and Thursdays at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And I will keep you posted on when the next podcast episode interview comes out as well. Thank you guys so much. Hope you have a beautiful rest of your night and next week. Take care of yourselves. It's so important. Do, nice things for yourself. Be kind to yourself. It's life be lifing. So just like I said, take good care of yourselves and treat yourselves and do nice things for yourself and for others. It's a win-win. All the love, guys. Stay bold. I'll see you soon. Thanks so much. Good night.